Baby foods used to wean infants off of milk have been found to contain alarming levels of toxic contaminants, including arsenic, lead, and cadmium, amongst many metals. Why are they pumping the body with metals? Why do they say food? We're only putting this stuff in food, or we only created this thing called GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, for the purposes of creating food that is larger by using human genes and other animals' genes. We're trying to make the food more abundant and more bigger so we can feed the people in the world, but now the world purportedly is up to 7 billion people, so now we're running out of food, and since there's a food shortage, we're going to have to go into technology to learn how to produce more food. But that's a lie, and I'm going to prove it to you. And some of what's called depopulation tactics. Why are they putting microchips and everything in food? Oh, they're trying to feed people that's partially robot, partially human. That's one thing. That's real. But other than that, these are microantennas, particularly cadmium. Cadmium is a microantenna. Barium in the chemtrails, they spray in barium. When you see airplanes just flying in the air for no reason, spraying things, they're not even making letters. They're not even drawing words no more. Before, back in the day, you used to see happy birthday. They didn't even have nobody's name on it. Just say happy birthday. Be like, oh, good, cool. Now they just draw lines. Like, we just become so brain dead, we don't even see the message. Just draw lines. And those lines are made up of barium. And this barium diffuses into the lower sphere, and you start inhaling it, and barium gives you flu-like looking symptoms. You will not have flu, it just gives you flu symptoms. And when you get flu symptoms, guess what happens? You tend to get a vaccine, protect you from the flu. But when you get the vaccine is made up of more microantennas. What are microantennas used for? To transmit messages to you by way of extremely low frequencies. Meaning, messages get transmitted into your mind without it being audible. It's below the audible level that humans hear on, yet it still can be interpreted by humans. That's where extremely low frequency waves are, ELF waves are. Which means they can put 50 Cent's music on ELF and have it playing, and then all of a sudden you be walking down the block reciting this music knowing you're conscious and you don't like that kind of music. And somebody else walk by and you realize they're singing it the same way up to the same part. You're like, oh, sweat. Then you realize, I'm singing this song. What am I doing singing this song? I don't like that song. ELF waves are extremely low frequency waves. Aluminum is a microantenna. Cadmium is a microantenna. Barium is a microantenna. This is used for mind manipulation and seduction. So the metals are put into the foods to control the masses' minds. This has nothing to do with us running out of space on the planet. Oh, we need to make new foods, more foods. We have to start beseeching technology to make more foods. That's a lie. That's the G. Like we say in the hood, they throwing G at you. Let's go to the next one. Look at this, Texas. The entire population of the world is purportedly near 7 billion people or more. Texas is 268,581 square miles inclusive of both land and water. Now I'm a mathematician. I teach intentional calculus, algebra, geometry, and sequential mathematics 1 to 6. You're not going to pull a fast one. Let's do math. If there's 7 billion people on the planet, we can fit all those people inside of the state of Texas. Mathematically. So, hold on, let's just finish this. Therefore, if Texas is 268,581 square miles, inclusive of both land and water, therefore, each person would be entitled to, in or around, 1,000 square feet. Probably shouldn't even be that high. If we could fit the whole world in Texas. Depopulation is a farce to a large extent. So they're not manipulating the food so we can grow more to feed people. Because if everybody on Earth can be given 1,000 square feet of land, the rest of the world is our agriculture space. The rest of the world can be dedicated to giving birth to food. We can put the world in Texas and leave the rest of the world's mass to grow food. So no, we don't need our fruits manipulated. We don't need microchips in the food, whatever reason that is. We don't need this stuff. Someone's playing with our mind. The whole world can fit in Texas and accommodate for each individual's living for 1,000 square feet each. I'm not playing with this because I'm going to put it up on YouTube, I'm going to put it online. I don't want to look like a fool. Somebody's actually going to do the math and can keep up with this. And they'll say he's lying. Or they'll say, damn, good point. What the? Let's lock him up. And I'll be gone by that time, trust me. I so calculate this shit. So the reality is that the whole world can fit inside of Texas. Everything they've been telling us about the Illuminati and depopulation and trying to destroy you and trying to kill you is all a hoax, a cruel hoax, because we don't keep up. We don't actually be in the house sick. I don't believe that. How much people say there's on the planet? 7 billion? Okay. How big is Texas? 268,181 square? Okay. Let me start doing some division. How much people really going to take the time out? You know what I'm saying? Only a freak of mathematical nature is going to take the time out to do this, is to see. Well, you see, my purpose is to prove to people that, to the best of my ability, that we're being lied to. And to show them how big the lie is. You want to see another big lie? I threw this in for fun. It's called Mercator's projection and Peters projection. Y'all familiar with that? It's called cartography. Cartographers design maps. This is the one we're used to seeing. This is the Mercator's projection. This is a lie. This doesn't even accommodate for the spherical perspective of the planet Earth. That's a lie. This is the one they teach us in school. Mercator's projection. It's been disproven. This was used, amongst many other reasons, for the purpose of racism. Historian, cartographer Dr. Arnold Peters, at a press conference in Germany in 1974, produced this map. It started being printed in 1983 when I was born. Mercator's projection, which is this one, distorts the size and shape of large objects as the scale increases from the equator to the poles, where it becomes infinite. This is Peters' projection. It accommodates for the elasticity or the stretch or the spherical perspective of the planet Earth. So that's why it appears to be stretched. This gives you a more accurate perspective of the planets. And you look these up and you'll find out that this is a lie internationally known by cartographers, but still dispensed in our school system. So notice how big Africa is over here. It's clear that Africa can encompass China and Europe, all inside of Africa.
All those little specks out there, those are islands?
Yes.
So I see none of those islands are listed on the other map.
You won't. They made Alaska larger than what it really is on the other maps. And Mexico's way bigger than Alaska. But you gotta go to this map to see Mexico's way bigger than Alaska. Because you know, they hate on Mexicans. It's all about the European. But the main thing I want to feature is Africa. Look at that. Then look at Africa over here. And then look at your Eurasia, what they call Eurasia. They put Europe and Asia together to tag team, to try to act like they big. If you really study the dynamics, when you go home, download them, pull them up. This one, they actually be trying to charge you for it. It's almost hard to pull this up online. Peters' projection. And what this showed, this was a white man named Arnold Peters, who said, on account of racism, everyone's being miseducated, even my white children. He said, racism is okay until the point we start miseducating our white children. They at least should know the truth. He said, y'all lying to everybody.
It's the only way to do it.
No, the secret would never really come out if you lie to everybody. So black people are not the only ones miseducated, so white people. Then he said, nah, I'm putting out the truth. He said, Africa is big enough to encompass damn near most of the world. You can throw all these in here. Boom, boom, boom.
No, even better, go back to the last slide. If you could put everybody in Texas, and Texas looks like a dot next to Africa, then we could all abandon ship and just go back to Africa and take the Europeans and everybody else and still have damn near the whole Africa empty.
We could just give Europeans the rest of the world and keep Africa.
Yeah.
And it still be too much space for us, as much as we produce.
The whole thing.
You could load us up on pork fried rice, chicken wings, and tons of 50 sodas. Baby's still gonna be popping out in Africa. No matter how much we produce, God made sure He gave us a planet big enough. This planet is not running out of space for people or food. It's the biggest lie they've ever been teaching. And you can do the mathematics. If you still don't believe this, you know what you do? Start playing with math and find out how many square miles is Africa in contrast to how many square miles are any of these other places. And when you do the math, you'll realize the numbers can fit inside of Africa. But just keep adding them up. You ain't gonna do no difficult math. Just add up the square miles for each one and say, hold on, I'm still adding, I haven't got up to Africa's mileage yet. So the miles in retrospect to the images are totally inconsistent. When you see them in mathematics, you know what they teach you? Doesn't matter if you're looking at a shape, find out what's the size. That's what they teach us in school, right? And then we get on a map and we take everything for face value. They say, what's the perimeter of a square? A square can be this small. They say this side is 50 and this side is 30. But the square looks tiny. And then the other diagram could be a giant square, but this side is 3 and this side is 4. It's just a depiction. And this is their excuse. This was the excuse. When you're dealing with mathematics, you never look at the shape. Get off my back. We didn't do this on purpose. Just a depiction. There's numbers there. Anyone can just clearly evaluate it and tell that this doesn't represent it. So you see, they be playing games with us all the time. So yeah, just keep that in your mind. The whole world can fit in Texas. We're not running out of space to grow food, so therefore we're not running out of food. You have to run out of space to grow food before you can run out of food. You can't have space to grow food and complain we're running out of food. It doesn't make no sense to say something like that. It's crazy. When they start saying you're running out of food, you have to now say that it has to be synonymous with running out of space.
Rena gule hazia mure sena ture nuka skino pa henhi ke labitin za you nema ture lisa nuki da buki fire na wo kalonite ukra harukshuaya nuka skino pa taru naya hudira for the shed na fu hawa kanu baba pizza sununa do kantu kaluma do la huna agu sofa salufi to boom hadu kuria li hula hula kuku abu so far do not to look so far boom doom time boom I'm looking henny 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 I shares move I'm not to clock on